Welcome to Profound Frivolity. We're your hosts, Dustin,
Orens,
and Gray.
And in this podcast, we're going to be telling stories that you didn't know you wanted to hear.
So grab a drink.
And some good and plenty.
Because this is Profound Frivolity.
Welcome back to another episode of Profound Frivolity. Today, just like last week, Gray's not here because of sickness. Yeah, the same one as last time. So yeah, they were supposed to get out of quarantine, her and her family. And then the day they were supposed to, or the night before, some more of them got it. So yeah, they're still quarantined, but hopefully they should be back next episode. Hopefully. And hey, next episode we kind of have a giant announcement.
A little bit
of a giant one. So yeah, make sure to stay tuned for that one. We also might have a guest next week. We're still not sure, but there's going to be a giant announcement. So make sure you catch it. But this week it's just me and Oren, and we're going to be doing another episode on, like, things we did as kids, because we were really weird.
Yeah.
Like, really, really
We've
weird.
done this before, but, like, I feel like there's always more, at least for me.
Yeah. And, like, we grew up in, like, different states, so we didn't know each other when we were kids. Like, young children. So, yeah, none of these stories, like, correlate to each other.
Anyways, I'm going first, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there was this thing that I would do, and I had this, I don't know what you would call it. It was almost like a mini god complex for like a month or two when I was like 9. I thought I could brainwash people. So, what I would do is whenever I was, like, at youth group or at church, or I might have been going to public school at the time, so maybe that too. If I was 9, then no. Anyway, I'd walk around, and I remember the first thing I did, I walked up to one of my friends, and I grab him by the shoulders, and I look him dead in the eyes, because I think that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, you will give me your Nintendo DS. And then I walk away, and I just thought, okay, I've planted the seed. Now I'm going to come back in 30 minutes and do it again. And then by the end of the night, he'll want to give me the DS. I was convinced that that's how it would work.
Yep, that's brainwashing.
Yep, so I kept doing that the whole evening. We were just at some event together. It was like some church dinner. I don't know. But I kept coming back to him. I don't know why he let me do it. He just stood there and looked at me while I went up to him and grabbed his shoulders. You will give me your Nintendo DS. And I'd walk away. Doing that over and over and over again. And then at the end of the night, I literally walk up to him and I'm like, so, anything you want to give me? He's like, no. He's like, yeah, there is. You're lying. And he's like, no, I'm not going to give you my DS. And then that led to a 20-minute argument about how I can't actually brainwash people. I would say he won the argument if I didn't keep doing it to other people.
Yeah.
I kept walking. I tried to do it to my sister all the time. And it was... I was doing it on everybody.
That sounds like something I would probably do. Like,
yeah.
Like,
this
nowadays and age.
This is a sidetrack, but also, I remember with my sister, I had this thing, I called it Shisuitsu, where it was like, I took it from Spinjitzu, because I love Ninjago, but it was specifically for fighting my sister, because she would do this thing where she'd jump onto the couch and, like, go into a ball and then try to kick me as I was coming close. And I had all these moves to, like, deflect that. And I remember teaching my friends how to use Shisuitsu on their sisters. And it only worked on sisters.
That sounds like borderline abusive.
Well, I had like a moral...
How to beat up your sister 101.
No, I had like a weird twisted moral code.
When they go up in the ball and start kicking
you never attack first. This is only for releasing the worst of revenge upon your siblings. Also, they can't be brothers. It doesn't work. The magic doesn't work. I don't know. But I had this whole thing. Like, I thought I had everything so worked out socially. Like, I thought I could convince anyone to do anything. I thought I could beat up anybody. I never had to beat up anybody.
No, they would destroy you. I'm sorry.
Gee, thanks. But probably. But yeah, that's a thing I would do.
That's weird. So the thing I did as a kid wasn't as weird as that. And I feel like it was like a normal kid thing to do, but I took it to an extreme level. Okay, so when you were a kid, you probably had stuffed animals, right? Unless you're old, in which case you had like what? Corn
Porcelain
husks?
dolls.
Corn husks? Is that what old people play with?
Old people, comment below.
Yeah, what did you guys
husks?
play with when you were children? Corn husks or glass dolls? Anyway, in now day and age, children play with stuffed toys. It's like taxidermy, but with fake animal hides. It's really cool. So I had like a bajillion stuffed animals. My favorite was Wolfie. Guess what animal he was?
A wolf?
No, he was a duck. No, just kidding. He was a wolf. He was a wolf. And I had... My favorite animal was a wolf, so I collected wolf stuffed animals. I had Wolfie. I had Blazing Star.
Uh-huh.
I had Shredded Star.
Uh-huh.
I had Coyote.
Uh-huh.
Get it? Because it's like Wolf E and Coyote, so it's yeah, it's the same thing.
Uh-huh.
I was really dumb. I had... One of them was just called Black Belt. He was just called Black Belt.
Was he a ninja?
Yeah, he was a ninja.
Nice.
I had one called Fang. I had one called Scar. I had a bunch of them. They're all upstairs in my attic in a giant trash bag. Because that's where I need to keep them now. But I would do this thing. I would create families. So Wolfie and Scarlet, we had children. A bunch of children. They had Sarah was a cat. They had Jewel, who was like a poodle. They had Scar. They had all these like stuffed animals, right?
There's like a whole family tree.
An entire family. Again, I don't know really how biology works, but I do not think a wolf and a cat can give birth to a monkey. But like, you know, or a toucan. But I also had this one bird named Flightless because he couldn't fly. Because I took one look at him and we're like, those wings will not lift up that body, boy. So I called him Flightless. And he had this little brother named Flightful. Flightful, because he could fly.
Yeah.
And he taught him how to fly.
So Flightless could fly.
Yeah, and then we changed his name.
To what?
Flightful.
They were both Flightful?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I was dumb. But I would create, like, real scenarios. So everyone had a job. My younger brother's Giraffe was a librarian. Right. And we would, like, literally, like, make houses of books and call it the library. And we would throw them in there. They would all, you know, it's like a high school. Uh-huh. Okay? We would treat it like a high school. It would be like high school drama, like one guy goes and beats up another guy because he was, like, showing off in front of, like,
a woman
of
somewhere.
Like Jewel the poodle, you know? And Gray actually did this too because she had a bunch of stuffed animals. So when we moved to like similar locations, we would play with like all 50 of our stuffed animals. We would play with them like dying, like actually dying, and then we would have like funerals for them.
Okay.
Like for these dead stuffed animals, and we would put them in like wrap them in black blankets and stuff. So like really morbid, messed up stuff, and you know, like also just fun stuff. Like
I mean, I played zombie Barbies with my aunt.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah, she had a bunch of like Monster High Barbies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Those are the zombies. And dude, playing Barbies was so fun. It's just tiny people in a massive house. Mm-hmm. She had a super big mansion. We could create all this drama, and when both of us got bored, we'd throw zombies into it, and they'd start killing people. And
nice.
We had a particular fascination with making the Barbies get chased off the roof.
What?
Yeah, like they'd get so scared, and they'd run, and then they'd trip, and then they'd fall. and they'd be like, and their dying words would be, "At least I'm not becoming a zombie."
That's weird.
And they'd die.
I had an odd fascination with my stuffed animals becoming like spies. So I would put them up around the house, and then get like a walkie-talkie and be like, "Hey, what do you guys see? What's down there?" And like spy on like my siblings and my parents and like anyone who is at my house. And of course, like they're not real.
Because heaven forbid you actually interact with them.
Oh yeah, no. And like, so what I would do is, because I actually wanted to gather like real information about what they were doing, I would go down and like stand next to the stuffed animals to like see what all of them would be seeing, and then I'd run back upstairs, and they would tell me what they were seeing / I had just seen. I would make zip lines for them from balconies.
Oh, I would pretend to like airdrop.
Oh my goodness, I would do that. And you take a trash bag and put the 2 trash bag handles in their like in the armpit of the,
like a bag.
Yeah, like
for a parachute.
Yeah.
I would do that.
And they would just fall. But you were like, oh, whatever. They survive.
Or I'd tie them to a string and like lower them down.
Exactly. That's what I would do. And then once you get them down, you're like, what do I do? So you pull them back up and, go like...
You do it again.
Lower them down a different balcony. Yeah, so I had a weird fascination with them being spies. So that was really weird. And, like, I think I did that probably until I was, like, 12. So, like, I don't know, I'm not judging anyone, but I feel like that's kind of a older age to be doing that, maybe.
Maybe.
It depends on your imagination, and I had a very large imagination.
Very large.
Very large. Very large. It took up most of my head, actually. So, yeah, that's my story, and all of them are up in trash bags up in my attic. Sadly.
Waiting to parachute again.
Waiting to parachute. That's sad. That's sad. Imagine if they had feelings. They're just like, our only friend has abandoned us.
We can't parachute.
No.
I want to jump off the balcony again.
So, we're going to have a break, and then we'll be back with more weird stories about what we did as children. Welcome back from the break, and we're going to hear another story from Orens.
Huzzah. So, this is less like it was a regular thing I would do, but I remember one of my friends had a really, really, like, good walkie-talkie, but we wouldn't talk to each other on the walkie-talkies. What we would do is we'd bring them to the park, and we'd all turn them on to different channels, and we'd wait for someone else to come up on the walkie-talkies, because someone almost always would. Like, we even picked up, like, a police dispatch this one time. Or it sounded like it anyway. And we were so scared every time someone on the other end would talk for some reason. And we'd talk back and be like, who is this? And it was, like, partially a game. Like, I think subconsciously we were all pretending we were, like, hiding from somebody or something. I don't know what it was, but it was weirdly scary and we loved doing it.
Yeah.
And we'd go to the park and we'd just spend like a couple of hours just sitting there on the swings with our walkie-talkies turned on, not talking to each other, just sitting there waiting for something to happen. And almost every time we'd get somebody, which was weird. Like, how many people talk on walkie-talkies that frequently?
Yeah.
Because most of the time it was just some other kid talking to some other kid on the walkie-talkie.
Like, you're stupid, you're a nerd. Switch channel.
Ruining friendships.
Yeah.
But we would do that, and then when that got bored, we would terrorize our friends who were afraid of cicadas by picking up cicada shells and throwing them at them.
Oh, yeah.
It's very fun.
I actually did that with walkie-talkies. One time, we were on a lake, and I connected to one that sounded like an emergency, like people were screaming.
Oh.
So, like, I got really scared, and I just went, hello? And then I heard it, and I was like, I'm gonna go. Like, literally, I said that and hung up, and then went and told my uncle, and he was like, it's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine. They're good.
Doesn't concern you.
Yeah. Actually, that weekend, there was, like, major winds, and somebody's boat flipped. in Dagon. I'm sure it wasn't them. I'm sure I couldn't have done anything to, like,
disrupt their boat's communication,
right,
and navigation.
But I did that too, to two guys who were talking, and I was like, "Task Force inbound, release missiles, nuclear codes activated," and my dad heard me, and he was like, "Dustin, what are you doing? Stop that!" And I was like, code red, pull out. And they were just like, what? Is this a kid? And all my brothers were like gathered around and were like, yeah, I'm doing it's so funny. And we actually kind of got in trouble. Yeah. Because,
what did they do to you?
I don't know. Okay, so I've got one last story before we go.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of a shorter episode, obviously, because, we're missing someone.
We're not very fun without all three of us.
Yeah.
We've discovered that very quickly.
We need her back. We're lonely. But, speaking of being lonely, I was a lonely child. Not many friends. So, in my pastime, I would bury things. Like my friends. No, like boxes with things in them. Like, I was obsessed with making miniature time capsules. And then
digging them up.
And then digging them up.
2 days.
Actually 2 days.
Yeah.
And I would make like a hyper-realistic map, aka just like black crayons instead of like rainbow crayons, because it needed to be like sophisticated and adultish. So
maybe rub the paper in some dirt to crinkle it up and make it...
Oh yeah, burn the corners off. So I would like draw our house and like the neighbor's house and the street and our tree house, all just to like put like step 5 feet from this tree facing north, which probably wasn't north, but just this way, then dig down 2 centimeters, It's just like, walk 5 steps from that tree and dig. So I would do that, and then I would bury the map with another map leading to where that map was.
Wait, but you buried both of them.
No. So I would bury an item, make a map leading me to it, then bury that map, and then having a map leading me to where that map was buried.
Oh, okay.
And then I would hide that map in the house for like a couple days. Go find it, go dig up that map, and then go dig up that other thing.
Gotcha.
And then be like, oh my goodness, my toys! Yeah. When I said I was lonely, I buried my stuffed animal one time. Can't remember which one. I also had a stuffed animal named Oh Crap.
Really?
Not kidding. It was this like weird marble colored rhinoceros. And one time I threw him because I was trying to figure out what his name was going to be. So I threw him at my brother. And this is when we weren't allowed to say crap. And he went, oh crap! And I was like, Nathan, you just said that. And he was like, I was saying that would be a good name for your rhino. And I was like, that's so funny. So that's what we called him. But just not in front of my family.
What do you call him in front of your family?
Rhino, probably. I don't know. But, so the thing is, I never actually found the maps that I had buried. And I would just
go straight to the
I would just go straight to the thing. I would, like, try to find the map and then be like, this is boring and I already remember where I buried the other thing. So I would go dig that up. I actually buried this weird perfume, like this, like, crystal, not real crystal, but like this glass crystal perfume bottle that was, like, actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
In this, like, really cool, like, pirate chest. And I didn't find it for over a year.
Oh.
Until one day I just decided, you know what? I'm going to go find that. So I went out to the backyard. This was, like, maybe a year ago. And I dug it up and I found it. After, like, not being able to find it for an entire year.
Nice.
It was really weird, and I did an unboxing video.
Okay, so this is some really nice dirt. I always love it when it comes this way.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I had duct taped the box shut, so, like, there was, like, dirt in it and stuff. And actually, the box was crushed. Like,
yeah, people probably stepped on the dirt of it.
So, that was, like, the only thing that was in it, too. I also buried money. Hoping, so like, I would bury things that I thought would one day become valuable. So yeah, money has monetary value, and I didn't have a grasp of like inflation and like money becoming not valuable. But I thought it would go with the reverse. Like we would all move to like some weird currency, aka Bitcoin, and money would become like, oh, rare, you know, and like become like a collector's item. So I buried $5 in my backyard and just thought like, one day when money is rare, I'm gonna go dig that up instead of just keeping it where I know where it is.
Might be worth at least $5 or something.
Right? Or maybe $4 by the time I open it.
Oh.
Sadness. So I would bury those. I buried a Bakugan card. Bakugan.
Continue.
Yeah, a Bakugan card, hoping one day it would become valuable. Because I thought, like, okay, the world is watching to see how much stuff that it has. Mm-hmm. So the less of this item we have, the more rare it is.
So if I bury
it, the world thinks I'm getting rid of it. And everyone is getting rid of this stuff. Like, you know, this stuff is always being getting rid of. So when I just think that, oh yeah, the world is probably, like, there's no more of this stuff in the world, then I'll go dig it up and, haha, tricks on the world. I actually had one the entire time! You know, instead of just, like, keeping it, you know, where I know it is, where it's safe and stuff. So yeah, that's a really weird thing I did.
Did you ever find the money?
No. I never had the money. I actually looked for it for a while. And then my brother started doing it, and we all started burying stuff. We actually, me and my older brother, created a time capsule, like 5 years ago.
I see it in your room every day.
Oh, yeah. Every day? What?
Not every... No, every time I come over.
That was creepy. Yeah, and it has a bunch of cool stuff in it. I don't remember. The only thing I remember is a Smurf. Yeah, like a toy Smurf that I got from the Ducky Box when I was, like, 5 at a school called Gateway Elementary. If you were good, you would get to choose out of the Ducky Box, which wasn't a box, it was a bag with a bunch of ducky-themed toys in it. Because my teacher was obsessed with ducks. And a Smurf. And I got that Smurf, and I put it in time capsule.
And you're going to open it in 2033, correct?
Yep. And we even... So, we have big brains.
Yeah.
We even tagged them. So, like, we knew that, yeah, we're going to forget what's in here. And then we're going to forget where we got it or whose it was. Because, like, you know, in an 8-year-old mind, you're, like, already fighting over toys. So you picture yourself as a 35-year-old fighting over these toys that have been buried for, like, 20 years.
Yeah.
So we were like, we got to label them to make sure we don't fight when we're 35 over these garbage toys and stuff. So we taped little, like, sticky notes to them. With, like, this is Dustin's, and I got it here and here and here at this time and stuff. So I'm actually kind of excited to, like, open that when I'm however old I am.
I want to be there for it.
Yeah. Most of it's garbage. We actually went through it, like, 2 years ago because we remember, like, putting a bunch of, like, actual trash in it. Like, a bunch of, like, Lego comic books. Because we thought, like, oh, our kids will want these.
Yeah.
You know? And then we wrote, like, letters to ourselves, but my older brother wrote, like, 5. Like,
to himself?
All to himself, like, containing the same stuff. So we, like, took a bunch of those out. And we actually did this really cool thing. I know that I said it was going to be short, and we're going a little bit over that shortness. But we did this thing where we played, I forget what it was called. It was called, like, True or Not. So we, like, put up a camera. Me and him sat on a bed, and we were, like, betting money that we hadn't even earned yet. So, like, we're spending I was spending 35-year-old me's money. Or however old I would be. So I was like, Nathan, I bet by the time we open this, flying cars will exist. Like, flying cars. He's like, no way. I'll bet you $100. By the time we open this, if flying cars do not exist, I'll give you $100. And, like, we put all this stuff on a chip, and we haven't put it in there yet. I don't know why. Probably because I'm going to lose a lot of money. But, yeah, we did that stuff, and there was something about Trump. I forgot about Trump. But, yeah, it was a bunch of weird stuff. Don't remember what it was, but, like, I really hope I win. Because I owe him, like, $1,000, because I bet really high. But, yeah, I think that concludes our episode.
Yeah.
Of just us.
We miss you, Gray. Please come back.
Come back to us. We are hopeless. Alright, see you guys in the next episode.